Is it on?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, let's call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Town of Washington Planning Board to order. Noting that we have 4 members present, we do have a quorum. So with that, we can proceed. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pledge. I get to see it. It's like being back in second grade. I love it.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
One correction that has already been corrected was a leftover from the January meeting where I thanked Susan for her many years of service to the board. So with that being deleted from the minutes, any other discussion? Can we have a motion to approve the
So moved.
and second? All in favor? Aye. Beautiful. First up, 452 Hibernia Road. Come on up. Nobody here, so I think this is going to go very well, but if you want to just, Anna wasn't here last week, if you want to just a quick recap on
Yeah, okay, so,
the short version.
yeah,
I read
front
about it, but
Okay.
porch addition
Yeah.
to the house. Nice addition. Fits the kind of farmhouse, turning it from Garrison Colonial into front porch. Nice. That's about it.
Yep. It makes
Going
a
through the process.
11-inch difference in the side setback, is all.
sorry.
Any other questions or discussion? Hibernia Road. We're just getting
I'm
started.
good on Hibernia.
Motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any comments for the public hearing on 452 Hibernia Road?
Anybody online? Is there anybody online?
No.
No,
Wait,
there's no
that's not an option.
connection for them to make comments.
Good,
They can
okay.
only watch.
Hearing none. Ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any further discussion on this?
Come on.
Hearing none. Has everyone had a chance to look at the proposed resolution?
Yes.
Any discussion?
Did we receive the updated sheet with the signature block? We did. So then I would just note that the first condition listed on page 2 has been satisfied, but the resolution can still be adopted as proposed.
Discussion?
I'm good.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. You're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We move pretty quick here.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Come on up. Mimi's Farm LLC, 301 North Tower Hill Road, right?
Yes. Mimas.
Mimas. My apologies. Long I. Okay, so that I remember it next time. Please give us a
Story.
Yes.
So I bought the property in 2017. There was an existing guest house that was built in '93, and on the top of the hill, concrete slab with a garage where there was a previous 10,000 square foot mansion that burned down a couple years before. So before buying, I don't know, my broker asked, I don't know who, if it was possible to rebuild the big house, which was the main reason to purchase the property, even though it was 15 acres, because there was this little guest house at the bottom of the hill. And they said, yes, it's grandfathered because there is the slab is there, it's existing anyways. So 3 years later, when we're ready to build and we ask for the permit, then it's not possible anymore, and it's not grandfathered anymore, so we have to destroy the guest house to be able to build the other house. So finally we found a midway arrangement where I removed the stove and the fridge and the closet doors, and then we can build the bigger house. So we did. And then in 2024, I bought extra acreage, so now it's 26 something acreage, so enough to have the 2 dwellings. So this is now to put back the stove and the closet doors. And anyways, that house is not used, it's like a occasional guest house, and there's no construction or nothing being changed on the house. So here we are.
Okay.
So why couldn't the building inspector just give a certificate of occupancy?
Yeah, so
She
he's
needs there's a CO on the guest house, sort of. But she needs a special permit for a secondary residential dwelling.
But it's at RR10,
It is RR10.
so she has 20-some acres now.
yeah.
Yes.
So it should be fine to have a secondary dwelling in
I think she still needs a special permit.
That
for
was
it.
I had initially responded that I thought that was the case and I didn't know why we were doing it. And then when I looked in the code, I guess you do need a special use permit for the secondary dwelling, even though it seems like that's the point, so why would you need a special
there. Even though
permit?
it's allowed by the zoning code.
Yeah, that's what it looked like in
You
the
can
code.
have you can have 2 dwellings if it's RR10 on a 20-plus acre property.
I had the same question, but we actually put it back to Jonathan, and he came back again saying that we needed the.
To treat this as an accessory dwelling unit, which requires a special permit.
Who's asking for it to be an ADU?
What's an ADU? Sorry.
Accessory dwelling.
Accessory.
Why can't it
Oh,
just be a second
I don't know.
primary
It's
residence?
nobody's gonna live there. I just would like to plug up my stove
So
there.
it's not
and-
gonna be, it's not a.
No,
mother-in-law
nobody's
kind of thing.
living
It's
there.
a guest house.
It's a guest house. Yeah.
So in this zone, what zone? The
R10.
R10.
yeah.
allows as of right 2 dwellings on the property?
Right.
Mhm.
As of right, not as a special permit use, because sometimes that's allowed
That's
by
right.
use,
Right.
but still
So
requires a
you're,
special
she's
permit.
getting pushed
Oh.
into a different category and that requires this as opposed to just.
Because in
This was my
2024,
question.
when I bought the extra land, I did reach out to
Yes.
Jonathan. He said, no problem, don't worry, and then no answer. So anyways, and then in February, I said, wait, I never heard back officially. And then
Yeah.
he said, no, actually, so it was not very clear for him, I think, either.
It's,
It's not really an accessory dwelling
No.
unit, it's a full-size house.
Yeah.
It's a fully functional house, it's a
Yeah.
second
but it's
property.
1,300 square feet roughly.
Yes.
You've seen the photos, it's like a full-on house.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
It's not like a garage or
no.
a pool house or something like that. It is a
Mm.
full
I-
residence.
Yeah.
I did, I want to make sure that I read it right. Accessory residential housing is allowed by special permit. Right in 16541.
I'm just
Does it
asking,
have to
why
be
is it
categorized?
as accessory? Why can't it just be another
Yeah,
residence?
yeah.
Let me check it says Appendix A should be the use regulations, and that will tell us whether 2 residences on a property is considered as of right allowed.
On RR10 land. should be.
on RR10, or whether it is a special, allowed by special use.
Like on my, if I have 100 acres, I should be able to build 10 houses on my property.
Mhm.
In RR10.
I'm trying to look back at the answer
So
that I got.
one unit per 10 acre, right? And she's got 24, so she could
You
have,
want
Because then they're gonna, it's
Two and a
gonna
half.
turn into a subdivision.
Yeah, I don't think you can build 100 houses on
That was my
100
question.
acres.
My
No, 10
question
houses on 100
10,
acres
yeah,
is
I
RR10.
I think you're
Why
allowed
can't I
to
do
do
that?
that.
It's my 100 acres.
What's the difference
It's
between
all
an
just for
accessory
you.
dwelling unit
If you're
and
not
a?
selling it, if you intend to, they're all your,
and what? An ADU
Right.
is self-contained
You're not
smaller
subdividing your
residential
property,
unit
not-
on the same lot as a
you're not-
primary single-family home featuring own kitchen, bathroom, and living area. Versus, what's the other one you're saying?
A guest house.
that's a different thing, I think, if you own
Maybe
all of
guest
them,
house
you're
doesn't
not.
have a kitchen.
No,
for
it
your
should.
family.
Even, or, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
I
can.
don't
Yeah.
know.
I can build whatever I
Yeah,
want.
yes.
I'm looking that
Yes,
up right now.
but you can't.
I'm going backwards to,
ADUs
Right.
generally offer higher ROA
Harkens
to
back to
rental
the
income,
Orange
while
River,
guest
where
houses
we said
function
you
better
could
as
proceed.
And then we have to look in the,
Further.
we have to look in the code.
But he was
I
subdividing
don't know.
to sell.
Should look in the
Oh, I
town
can
code.
find the
Right.
schedule.
Yeah, it's like.
I know, yes,
It's really
yes.
hard to find, Hannah.
Go ahead.
I don't
That's not
understand.
right, 'cause
Go
these are all her
ahead,
properties.
start building.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is all her
Yes,
property.
I-
She's
I-
not selling
I
it or
am-
parceling it or
I am
subdividing or
trying to
anything.
suggest we move it out of the ADU.
Yeah, me too. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Do you have the
So
code
for the,
accessible?
in the town, it says, I don't know if this is
It's
right.
the schedule, we need the schedule of permitted uses for RR10. It's like, it's
So-
at the end.
ADU is saying for longer term living, and then a guest house is for temporary, short-term, or seasonal accommodations, typically lacking a full kitchen facilities. So that's what,
typically lacking a full kitchen.
I think, and that's that thing that you were dealing with
Yeah, I think they, at the time, it was considered like a secondary dwelling because they said unplug the stove, you know, so if it's not, there is no stove, it was not considered like a,
Yeah, there's something about
Secondary.
having a fridge and a stove and a
Yeah.
closet.
it's a stove,
That
yeah.
makes it, those three things.
Yeah.
We went through the same thing with the apartment above our garage.
I feel like
We
I
had
know
to take
someone
the
who just
fridge
went
and the
through
stove
this.
out and we
And
had
the
to
closet
And they
doors.
solved it
took
with like a
closet doors out.
smaller
That's exactly what we did.
something.
but then how did you put them back?
We didn't, we don't have them back.
Okay, so I can also leave them like this, but it's just not very pretty. So I just,
Just
And
put
also,
more
there should, I
cabinetry
mean,
in.
you should have,
okay.
it seems like she should be able to have it.
It does seem like it.
Yep.
It's gonna depend on, we need to see Schedule A. Wherever Schedule A is, that describes the use, because sometimes there are permitted uses that are allowed as of right, and there are permitted uses that are allowed by special use permit.
But this isn't even a use issue in my opinion.
It is in that there's there's gonna be more than one dwelling on the property.
But there can be 2 dwellings on a property if it's more than 20 acres in the RR10. It's 1 dwelling per 10 acres.
That's what
As
Schedule
long
A
as
should
it's
tell
not
us.
subdivided or,
Some of them are as of right, and some of them require a special permit.
Right.
So
And
if she
I
needs a
don't
special
know
permit, so what's the
why.
process for that? If let's just say
Then-
she
then-
does.
then
We're gonna
that's
have to schedule a public hearing for
that's
next.
us, that's why she's here.
I think
We
that's
just
why,
go the
that's
whole
what
special
we
use
were,
permit process.
I filled out all the
Maybe she could do
paperwork.
that.
We're trying to
Under
figure out if
a
we can
basis.
This is not even necessary.
avoid it.
No, but I think I filled out everything for
You
the
did.
special.
You did.
What are we looking for?
We're looking for Schedule A of the, for the, it's Schedule A to the code. It gives us the permitted
And it's
uses.
probably on the,
It's
Oh,
really,
I got it.
okay. I kind of want to
Okay,
look at it
so
too.
RR10, principal uses permitted as of right, dwelling single family, dwelling 2 family, and then special use includes all of these other things that are not relevant.
We're in the wrong document.
It's not even listed.
Hold on a second. This is the town code?
Yeah,
Can I,
please.
okay.
oh,
I think the way we've read that is it's 1 dwelling per 10 acres on RR10. And you're gonna have 2 dwellings on 20 plus acres, so by the zoning code, it doesn't have to be an accessory dwelling unit. Like, you would need that and you would need a special permit if you were under the 20 acres.
Mhm.
You would definitely have to call it an accessory dwelling unit to have it, and you'd have to get a special permit, no
If you
doubt.
go to
But
E-code,
because you have more than
If you
20
do,
acres,
um,
you can have 2 dwellings. You don't need a special permit anymore because you have the acreage. That's how I read it, and how we have. Yeah, I
I'm-
think it was called an accessory dwelling unit when you had less than 20 acres. That's what it would have to be. Like if you wanted to build a garage apartment or a barn or a pool house or whatever, it'd have to be an accessory dwelling unit because you have less than 20 acres. But now that you have more than 20 acres and the acreage has changed, you're permitted 2 dwelling units, 1 per 10 acres. And there's no reason to be calling it an accessory dwelling unit anymore because you have more than 20 acres. But the only way you could have had that when you had less than 20 acres was to call it an accessory dwelling unit.
Okay, got it.
And you would need a special permit.
Where is this? Accessory residential
I think that's why
housing?
you guys were calling it that when
Yeah.
you had less than 20 acres.
Correct.
But now that you have more than 20 acres, there's no need to call it that to get the special permit because you have the acreage to support it per the zoning code.
Okay.
That language, it no longer applies once you acquire that additional land.
Okay.
That is how we have used the code in the past. And maybe that's wrong, but I don't even know why we're calling it accessory dwelling
That's
unit,
what I
other
was
than it
saying,
had to have
just
been
back out
called
of
that when
that.
she had less than 20
Yes,
acres. It had to be
But
called
why
that.
would it be called, the main house was not there?
But when they were building the main house, they knew that it would then become an accessory dwelling unit.
Exactly.
That's what allowed them to build the big house, because that would just be considered an accessory dwelling unit because it doesn't have a fridge or whatever. It's just an additional temporary living space that you would be using for guest cottage or something like a pool house or something.
So what about
But then
one-
she acquired more, and now she has more than 20 acres, and she could have 2 fully functioning houses with her stove, her fridge, and her closet doors all together because now she has more than 20 acres.
What about, look at 16541F. It says accessory residential housing is allowed in the R residential districts
Why are we
only.
calling it that?
No, I'm just saying it says allowed for the lots located in the 1 and 2 acre zones. The minimum acreage density shall be the same as those of the 5 acre zone. This section shall not bar the town zoning board of appeals from considering an application for relief from these area requirements. I'm not seeing, it's permitted. I'm not seeing where it's not permitted. Is allowed by special permit in accordance with the requirements for special permits set forth here.
116. No, that's just.
So what would be under this set of assumptions, what would be her next step?
Yeah.
To file a building permit, or what would she do?
Well, she doesn't need a building
No,
permit because the
any-
building's
She
already
doesn't need
there.
anything, so she's just permitted to go ahead and do her work.
Well,
Which
it's
is
just
contrary.
There's no work.
There's no permit.
There's
Oh,
no
I thought you
construction.
wanted to replace some things.
Oh, no, just because I had to remove the closet
Right,
doors and
so
just
she wants to put
them
those things
in.
back.
They wouldn't
So-
require a building
There's
permit
nothing
anyway.
required.
Those are,
There's nothing required here. I don't even,
Yeah, let's not search too hard if that's
No,
what you think.
That's what my original
Yeah, I know.
question was,
Yeah.
but
I think it was because it was initially called an
Yeah,
accessory.
somehow-
It had to be because you had less than 20 acres. That's the only way to have
Right.
that secondary structure on your property if you have less than 20 acres. But once you acquired more than 20 acres, the code allows you, without a special permit, to have 2 dwelling units because it's 1 dwelling unit per 1 or 2 family unit per 10 acres in the RR10. So it doesn't even need to be called an accessory dwelling unit anymore once you acquired the additional acreage.
I'm not familiar with that provision. of the
yeah, I
code,
can't find that one either.
So I
So I'm just
can't
wondering
speak
why
to
he's
that,
requiring a special
because
permit. Why are we even calling it that?
Even in other town codes, that they don't have a provision
because-
of that.
only
the-
'cause it's
the
a
number of
second
dwellings
house.
is based off of the
She has-
size
she
of
can
the
have
lot.
one house.
I can't find that.
That doesn't mean that
If you're
there's no
building it.
permitting
No, that just
required.
means
I
that you
think
have
the
to have
issue's
at
like
least
it's
10 acres to build the
existing.
first house.
Right.
it's existing and she has
It doesn't-
We've seen
I
it
don't-
so many
permits
times where
it.
people
There's-
want
I
to build
just-
a
I can't
second
find
house,
where
like
she
a
needs a special
mother-in-law
permit.
house.
It's in the, so if,
A full
if
guest
there's not
house,
this provision
and they have to have it, and there's
that
nothing.
is based on the number of acres. then
I-
you
We
have
see when
a
people are
certain
doing like
number
lot
per
line
10
changes
acres, you know,
or
you
what-
just stack
that's why they're doing it, so they can acquire.
single-family
the
residences
20
on a
acres
lot, and I'm
required
not
to build a
familiar with
second
what
house,
provision
second
that is in the
dwelling.
code, I haven't seen that. But The alternative is if there's gonna be more
Okay,
than
I'm
one
not the attorney
home,
here.
then
I'm
it
I'm
is
not-
treated, and this
no,
is
no,
not seen as another
I just don't
town,
know.
so that any
Experience.
additional
That's-
unit
I
And
would-
I don't bring my
on
code
a
in here
lot
because
other
we
than
have
the
it,
principal structure
what's his
is
name,
considered an
coming and
accessory
advising us. I used to bring
structure
my
by
bag with my
default.
code and like have it all highlighted and tabbed.
So
Aaron's
I would
comments
say based on
said that we have to have a special use permit.
Aaron reviewed the code and we discussed this, as did the building inspector, and
Yep.
the
So
interpretation was.
why don't we just
I think
go
we need to
ahead
go
and-
Let's go
Forward.
forward with the
Yeah.
process we're in.
That way we're covered.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna
we'll
have
come
to,
back, okay.
And then you have
The
it
next
on
step-
the
It's done.
Right, then you
Okay.
have official sanctioning.
Yeah,
Okay, let's just do it.
So do we need a,
right. Couple of simple questions, assuming that there is 2 separate septic systems for the 2 houses,
Yes.
and that can handle, if there's any chance that you have anything from the Board of Health when you did the septic for the new house,
No.
maybe?
I don't have anything from, but Aaron told me to draw where the septic was.
Okay.
But it was all existing septic, so we didn't,
Okay.
so I just
Oh,
drew them.
from, because the house was there.
Yeah, it was all old septic.
Took me a minute to catch up.
Yeah, because it was an old, so yes, and both houses are quite far, but I drew on some plans where the
Okay.
septics are.
And there's no other residential housing on the property?
No.
Not in, there's no apartments and barns or
No.
anything like that? And the main house is your primary residence?
Yes.
Okay. I think that our next step now is to classify this as a type 2 and then set a public hearing for next month.
Okay.
And then,
That'll be it.
and that'll be it. We'll get you in and out of here next month.
So what, do I have to fill out anything else, or?
The only thing that's not complete was the ag data statement.
So I
which-
filled it out this.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
I didn't see it.
I think yes,
Did you email it to me?
yes.
You did, I'll have to check. my
But wait,
email.
maybe I have a copy here, wait.
That was the only thing that I didn't
Here.
see. Otherwise, I think everything was
It's here.
complete.
That'll
This
just
is
be the
better.
circulation of the
It is,
public
no,
hearing.
it is,
Yeah.
it's just,
It'll be challenged
Here.
somewhere down the road.
I,
I know, but.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I get frustrated when we do stuff.
Perfect. We'll just put,
Two.
if you emailed this to
Yeah, I'll
Lisa?
email it again.
Double check.
Okay.
No worries. And
Because
did
we've
you?
been having issues since we went from .org to .gov.
Okay.
Some emails have not been
No.
If we call it an
Received.
accessory
I'll send you
apartment,
to-
yes, it's by the.
Okay, no worries.
There's
It was a
no
lot.
call it an accessory
Double check.
dwelling unit
Yeah,
anymore.
so you want to see the
That's more
septic?
than-
So this is the old house. It has a
It had to be called
septic
that
here, and
before.
the little
It doesn't
house
have
has a
to be
little
now.
septic here.
So we should definitely identify that part of the code, so that if we have
That's
similar applications
just
before us, we
large
can point to
distance
that
apart.
and say,
No
need
problem.
special use permit.
Okay, maybe we'll just,
There's-
if you could email that to
Yes.
Lisa as well, so that that goes into the file.
I will break out my paper copy.
There's
because
one
I-
little sentence here which might shed some light in code compliance. On number 7, accessory residential housing is permitted only on lots where the owner resides. The application form lists the applicant's residence as New York City address. So could that be where it's getting all caught up on
So they
itself?
sent me that, but
No, because we talked about that.
yeah, my main residence is there for.
I
4 years.
circulated that 7 or 8
I think,
made
I
it
think
ago.
it's coming from the special permit section of the code. And there may be something else that would have, you know, mean that we wouldn't have to go through this process, but it sounds like,
I think our best bet is to do the type 2, set the public hearing. I'll
So I
get with
come in
Aaron
soon?
tomorrow to double check to make sure we need all of this.
Okay.
And then Lisa will set you up we'll do the notifications for the public hearing next month.
Okay.
One way or another, we'll be all done next month.
Okay, so I'll come for June's meeting and then.
Yes.
She'll be done.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
I have a quick question before she
Yes.
goes. So
Yep.
if this is going to be an accessory unit on her 10 acres, does that mean that since she has 20 acres, and this will be classified as accessory unit, does that allow her to build, if she wanted to, another dwelling on the additional 10 acres? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. I think it would.
Yes.
I totally think it would.
Are you okay proceeding this way?
Yeah, whatever you say. Thank you.
If that's the case, it would work out better for her anyway.
Well, that's what I
That
was
would still leave
thinking.
options open in the future.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we
I mean,
tried.
it benefits
tried,
you
but,
actually, because it gives you the opportunity to do another building on the other 10 acres.
Right.
Ultimately, the planning board doesn't have authority to interpret the code. If there's a question about that, that should go to the building inspector, and then that interpretation could be appealed to the ZBA, who makes the final say about the interpretation of the code.
We interpret the code all the time.
The zoning code.
That's,
The planning board can apply, but not interpret.
but
the
so many
code.
parts of the code are gray. It's so gray in so many areas. It's totally up to interpretation. I mean, when you're reading the code word for word.
If you have precedents to go off of, and you know that ZBA has already interpreted a particular section, then there's no issue. But if the planning board is split and there's no precedent to follow about a certain interpretation, then it has to go to the building inspector and then the ZBA.
I think with the conversations with Jonathan and Aaron's comments already, that this is the path
All right.
that makes the most
Yep,
sense.
and it's done.
All right.
We'll pursue the path of most resistance.
It's okay. That's
Exactly.
most resistance.
Exactly.
With our
In
apologies.
the fine tradition.
Okay.
High five you on that one.
Bookkeeping before we get caught up. Motion to classify as type 2.
Yes.
So moved.
So moved. Thank you. Sorry. I'm reading Seekers, Harry.
And second.
No hard for
Second.
here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Motion to set a public hearing for June meeting.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank
See you
you.
next
Thank you
month.
very much.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate your patience.
Thanks. No
Some
worries.
fancy closet doors.
Is that it?
One last item. Just the
Application.
planning board application that I circulated, that's now 2 parts. Does everybody have a chance to look at
I
that?
did not. I was locked out of my email until just.
It is,
I can pull it up.
I don't have it.
I got it. I think if you want to see it.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
She didn't need my support in the end.
Maybe see you next
But
month.
you were here, that's why I found it.
Is this what you're talking about?
So I'll email
yes.
all of the
It is
addresses
now
to send to
Just
Karen.
all the personal information is on, that looks like the property one. All of the property information and all of the questions are on
Right.
one document,
Okay.
one application, and the personal information is now on a second one.
Okay.
So that
She was
when the application
engaged
comes
a back
in,
and forth with
only
someone
that
else.
one will be uploaded to the website.
Okay.
So we won't, hopefully, we won't have to worry about hackers taking the email and the application and sending bills to
Because it won't be posted.
residents.
And
because
this
the-
happened to this applicant.
Yes, before they even made it to the
Yeah.
meeting.
They got
And
high.
she was
Yeah.
communicating back and forth with what she thought was the town,
No.
asking for like $3,100 or
That's awful.
$4,100 to be put
Yes.
into escrow.
Because it's already a stressful
Did she
thing
lose any
today.
money?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Wow.
I
That's
spoke to
amazing.
her on the phone and I told her to.
But she
So-
wasn't damaged in any way from it, but still.
No, she was not.
no, she was shocked. She thought we had been.
So I think by just
cyber breached.
splitting these,
You're not
personal
speaking
information
for
will
I
stay
think
with
it really
Lisa.
makes sense and really smart, and it costs us
You know,
nothing
Yes.
really to
We
do
should
it.
actually.
it was,
Get someone to
Great.
just
Well
Yeah.
done.
follow through.
it
Thank
was
you.
simple,
Why don't we make a
no problem.
Why don't we make a faux application?
Yeah.
Do we have to vote on it?
I'll talk
I think
to the
so.
chief about
I think it's a good idea.
The
Yeah.
application?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, we should do that.
yeah.
We could set up a sting on
We
this.
should set up a
Create a
sting.
fake
Yeah.
and have.
Who's gonna prosecute it
Chief
though?
Morgan.
I'll sign up for any role you want. me to
Emily.
sign up
Let the chief do it.
Because so last year when I was on the board and sat out there and we had 3 or 4 of them in 1 month, and we took it to the DA, to the state troopers, and nobody cared. They weren't gonna prosecute it.
They basically said the only way they would prosecute is if an actual applicant paid
If they were
for
there
it.
was
Well, they
damage.
could.
Okay.
They could.
Well,
injury or whatever.
They could. It's just
sure
an
I-
easy
I need-
sting.
Yeah.
I need a permit. I'm trying
Yeah.
to replace a roof on my barn.
Let's do it.
You can put it into a secret
We'll get
account.
trench coats.
If there's trench coats, I'm in.
Do we get fedoras? I want a fedora.
Does it work with this?
Come on.
This
now.
part's above my pay grade.
Run the meeting, Don. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Can we have a motion to approve the updated planning board application forms?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The only other thing that I have for us is that I went back and did some code review, because after conversation with Aaron, he said that the planning board in the past had always done public hearings for site plan review of all kinds, big and small. Site plan had always come with a public hearing, which is why in this instance, the similar Hibernia we just had was called
Yeah.
whatever that application was,
Yeah,
and we did the
Hibernia.
same thing. And so following that procedure makes sense in this instance. But I went back and looked at the code, acknowledging that special use permits definitely need to have a public hearing. But site plans, I don't think that's always the case, and we've waived them before for the lot line adjustment, we just discussed that. I think that for site plan, public hearings can be waived in some instances based on whatever the planning board kind of desires, so there's discretion there.
Okay.
And what that means to me is there should be some kind of structure or plan so that it doesn't seem arbitrary if you're just waiving public hearings for some and not others. But I think the planning board should decide how it would like to proceed if it doesn't want to have public hearings for every site plan review.
Could you give an example of a site plan that we would potentially waive the public hearing on?
Something probably very limited, very small, if the project seems like it's not affecting very much acreage, or there won't be very much disturbance.
Like a
or
front porch is added?
a front porch is added, especially if it's something that's already been before another board. So in that kind of
Those are the
instance,
ones.
Most things that get to us in that way is where,
Yeah.
if it's coming to us for a
From
special
the-
use permit, that's a different instance where we still have to have a separate public
But
hearing.
if there's been a public hearing already by the ZBA.
But if it's just coming to us for site plan and they've already had
Yeah.
a public hearing, then maybe that's something that the planning board would prefer to waive. In any case, I think having some kind of plan about the kinds of applications that you would waive a public hearing, I think would set some kind of expectation about when or when not the planning board would like to waive.
are you thinking something like a certain amount of square footage or?
It could be, yeah, it could be a whole framework of things, the planning board, it doesn't need to be in the code, you don't need to do a local law.
But some
a
guidance
policy.
that we follow to make things more standardized.
Yes.
It's so, because it's so hard to, what's like
Guess
minimum
what it would be.
interference,
Yeah,
maximum interference, and it can look really different,
No matter what the square footage is.
Yeah.
So it could be a couple factors, like whether it's been before another board and the square footage impacted and whether there are other structures on the property and the size of the parcel and environmental, whether you're typing it as a type 2, maybe that would be a limited impact. So maybe a handful of.
I would leave a little bit of discretion in that, because sometimes you just could assume that there's something controversial about it.
But they don't have to be, whatever our guidelines are, they don't have to be set in stone.
Right.
It could be just as
They
simple
should be.
as,
Look at the list.
it may be waived if there was, already had a public hearing with the ZBA, it classifies as a type 2, there are no wetlands involved,
Yeah,
and
sense.
something,
yeah.
one more thing.
I think it would be, these are the factors that the planning board may consider when determining whether to,
May consider, because you might have a particularly contentious
Yeah.
situation that could, the
Yeah.
ZBA meeting
Yeah.
might be contentious and the people
Which
might
you
want
still
another
might
bite
want
of the
another
apple.
public hearing
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
yeah.
vacant.
They
We
they
usually
may
ask that.
consider.
Yeah.
We usually ask that.
If there's demand from the public,
Yeah.
I mean, because there have been some things where it's like, why, somebody's
Yeah, I
just
know.
expanding their
we
front
And there've
porch
already been
by
one
2
public
feet.
hearing and
And
no one showed up to that
we passed
one.
on one, remember?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, if the ZBA's already had a
Yeah.
public hearing, that should be one thing that could flag it for us.
Yep.
But still needs to be at discretion of the,
Right.
I think it's always at our discretion. There's never a must waive.
I'm just
No.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
writing notes.
You're just a scribe.
Sorry.
I guess
I'm
that's,
on
I guess that's what I was saying earlier. is
I'll take a
discretion,
picture of
not
this so I have it in my
interpretation, but
phone.
Discretion.
Yes.
We have had to exercise
Yeah.
a lot of discretion trying
Yes.
to interpret what the code is saying.
I think I know what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
which is like in applying it, you have to use discretion. I think what Hannah's talking about is when somebody comes asking for an interpretation,
Right, that's
we
not
can't do.
us. No,
I think
that's
that's
not us.
kind of
Yeah.
a sort of.
It's a gray.
I think discretion is what I should have said. That should have been the word I used.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of course, a lot of discretion, and it's difficult having so much discretion on one hand, because then applicants can say, you're treating me differently than other applicants. That's the arbitrary and capricious potential issue, which is why it's nice to have some kind of guiding framework, even though ultimately the planning board will say, we do still ultimately have the opportunity to decide whether or not to waive based on these categories.
It's nice to know we have that ability to make that decision, in some cases, small
Yeah.
cases.
I mean, this would have been the perfect
Yeah.
one, I think. I mean, that was,
And of course, the issue, the concern with this transition now would be treating these new applicants different than old applicants. So it will be important to say up front, we recognize this is a very similar application to this one that we just had, a couple of months ago, but because we've set these new frameworks and this guidance, then we'll kind of say on the record, here's why we're doing something different than we did last time.
I think we need to double check with Aaron that he reads the code the same way that you read the code, that we can
Yes.
waive the public hearing before we start waiving public hearings.
Of course, and I did email
Not that
him
I-
about this informally, and
Yep.
so, and he gave similar feedback on that, and said, kind of in a general sense, you know, it's important that the planning board has always had a public hearing for every site plan application, and of course, that is a consideration as well that you should be thinking about, but I don't think it's necessary.
I mean, boards evolve.
The only
Everything
thing constant is
evolves.
change.
Yeah, everything evolves.
I do want to kind of know the answer to I want to dig deeper on the,
Me too. I'm gonna go back
because
and
I
see
just,
what I can find.
it like intuitively felt wrong. And I don't know what, maybe it's a benefit to her anyway because of the history of the property.
It's a complicated history of the property. It had a massive 10,000 square foot home that burned to the ground. There was a caretaker's cottage at the bottom of the road. I know this because we looked at
Yeah.
it to buy it.
Yeah.
And then to get, it's its own house, it's a full house, it's a caretaker, it's a house for a caretaker
Yeah.
of the property, it's a full-size house. And in order to build that 10,000 square foot home back, or whatever they built, it wasn't quite 10,000 square, it's a house beautiful though,
Yeah.
the house they built. They had to decommission that as a house and make it an accessory unit in order to have a primary house built. And then they acquired more acreage. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on here. And then once they got the acreage, it no longer necessarily need to be an accessory. If they had 20-plus acres before they built that big new house that they built there, they might not have had to take the fridge and the stove and the closet doors off, because they would have had enough acreage to have 2 dwellings on 20 acres. But because they didn't, it had to be commissioned down to
Are
an
they
accessory
in the
dwelling
same
unit.
ownership name?
Yeah, I think
They
the
are,
lots
yeah.
were merged. But
Oh, I
didn't we
don't-
No,
discuss?
I didn't-
all been
I don't
one
think
lot.
they're
No,
merged.
it's all been one lot.
It's all one lot?
It's all one lot.
Didn't we
Yeah.
have this with your neighbor across the street and our good friend? Didn't they have to do something funny with their kitchen? Didn't they have to like make the? Didn't they have to like make something like the dishwasher had to be something like really tiny?
I don't know about that. I didn't.
I think they had something with the red house.
But that was an existing structure too, but I don't know if it
And
had
they had it's over 10
Kitchen.
acres accessory. They had to get a permit, but there was something with the size of the appliances.
Did they have 20 acres or just over 10 acres?
They have
No,
over-
they have over
20
20 acres.
Okay.
This is the Kunkel's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there any chance it was a subdivision question?
I don't think so.
Well,
No.
we'd have to go back and look at how they acquired the additional acreage to go up, what is it, 6 acres that they acquired? Was it through a lot line change? Was it an acquisition of a second parcel?
I think it
I
said in the
thought-
application they got it from Raleigh Farms, so let me read it, hold
I
on.
thought there was a lot line adjustment, which would make it one parcel. And
No, I think it was from Raleigh Farms too.
Yeah, I was
Which
just
is
reading
Tim.
it.
it'd be good to have both there.
66 says, except for farm operations, multifamily developments, community facilities, and public utilities, only one principal structure shall be permitted on one lot.
The principal structure. Yeah. So if she has a principal structure, that's the home, and then you have the guest house.
Which, if not a principal
But who's
structure, is accessory?
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like guest house.
Where do we draw the line on what's a guest house? And I mean, one person's guest house is another person's principal
I think
structure.
it's where principally you're living. I think it's principally
The
where you're-
wording was guest houses for shorter term use and an accessory dwelling or principal is for longer term use. I don't know
What
if they're on
if,
the days, but
the family of a son moves up with his
Yeah.
family? So then you have 2 permanent residences. She could certainly do that. She could bring in family to live there. Right?
And I don't think there'd be any reason for her to come back and get
Yeah,
anything changed if
not at all.
she decided to only have like house guests in there, once a month compared to like letting her son live there full time. Like, it's a house.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't, but with a special use permit, she could do anything she wanted.
Well, we should make sure of that, because if we're walking her into a restricted situation, that would not be,
I think in this situation, it may allow her.
I mean, what I'm reading, that sounds like exactly what it's going to do.
what, it will restrict or will?
No.
No.
Okay.
Lots
They
with
leave the door
accessory-
open
Good.
to build another
She
Yeah.
could subdivide that or whatever and build a full dwelling on the
Yeah.
other 10 acres.
Exactly.
This is take yes for an answer. Move on.
Interesting.
Okay. Anything else?
When is the June meeting?
Motion to
4th, I
close?
think.
What is it?
So moved.
I think it's June 4th, I think.
June 2nd.
June
It's early.
2nd.
Yeah, I think it's like June 2nd.
I'm pretty sure it's June 2nd.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. That's it.
Remarkably well behaved.